What do you think, Ryan? Hey, guess what? It's Thursday night. It's another episode of Thursday Night BBQ Chat. I am Steve Kress. I am with It's All About the Barbecue. And during the week, you can find me at Wanamaker's down here in beautiful, lovely Downers Grove, Illinois. And the man sitting next to me, I was going to pick on him, but I can't pick on him today. And then sitting next to me, the chairman of the board, Barbecue Blackstone and Beer, Mr. Ryan Hoagland.
I'm happy to be here where I actually have signal and connection. Unlike last week, any other time that I go away and I try to join the show, and we just have internet issues.
Yeah,
so
you did kind of leave me hanging last week.
I was at my mom's and we were on her internet, and they've been having issues, and they got everything squared away, got stuff figured out. They're on the T-Mobile 5G box, so it's not like our normal internet. It's just all over the airwaves. And yeah, they got it figured out. It was working. And then lo and behold, Thursday afternoon, it just drops. We went from 200 megs of speed down to 3. And it was just terrible. So that's my excuse. That's what it is. But I'm back. And because I'm back, we got to pay some bills. So with that, we're going to give a little shout out to all of our amazing sponsors. And yes, I still need to update the video, but we'll get to that after this.
Thank you so much, guys. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Yes. And I'm going to let you go through this whole little thing, but I'm going to work on that video. I'm going to try to work on it this week. And I'm going to get all the names shouted out in there while we're doing
Well, that's good, because we all got to have sponsors. And let's give a good shout out to all our sponsors. That is OG Bandits, the sauces and rubs. And if you're in the Kansas City area, I believe they have a restaurant still at the Kansas City airport, I think, unless they've changed. If not, look for them on their website, ogbandits.com. And then we got Melinda's hot sauce. I'm telling you, Ryan, I've been exploring more and more of those flavors of Melinda's, and I'm telling you, I get a new favorite one every today. I had salad and I had the Parmesan garlic or something like that. And it was really, really good. We got Smoky Woods. They do chips, chunks, pellets, charcoal. They're amazing. Get to wherever you find your local barbecue supplies and get OG Bandits. Also look there for Smoky Woods products. We got Wood Food Systems. They are the sponsor. They are our sponsor, but they are distributors of Southern Pride smokers. So if you are looking for Southern Pride equipment, reach out to woodfoodsystems.com. And then we got my good friend Scott over there with Steak Ager and the Spitfire Grill. I'm still telling you that Spitfire Grill, if there was a way I could snag one of those, I think they're the coolest things ever. But I need it to be propane.
They are pretty nice. I like it.
And then if you're looking to barbecue anywhere across the United States and you're looking for good quality meat, go to marbleridgefarms.com. Take a look at what they have on there. Pick out what you want, pay for it, and they'll ship it out to you. So those are our sponsors, and thank for them that we can do all this good show stuff that we got going up.
Like this week, we're doing our Easter episode. That's why. Whoa.
Ryan didn't get the memo. He's always a little bit of a party.
I got a new webcam, so everything's backwards. My camera's mirrored. I point this way and it goes right to you. Now I'm going to be all backwards.
Yeah, no, because now you pointed on my screen. You're pointing the wrong way. I was looking to see who was over there.
No, it's you right there. Just like Richard C says, Steve, really?
It's Easter, Richard. You got to get in the spirit of things. Hey, life is short. Life is meant to be fun. And heck, I mean, if every once in a while you can wear this, we wore turkeys at Thanksgiving. We got Easter ears at Easter. And lo and behold, we have our expert on today. I reached out to our usual holiday expert here, Ryan, on how to cook things properly for the holidays and to give us some good tips. And we'll quiz him on a little bit of our favorite flavors and see what he thinks. But Ryan, I'm a little disappointed you don't have rabbit ears on.
Well, so for those of you that know, I was out on vacation last week.
You're not going to
Huh?
You're not going to tell the sad story, are you?
I'm going to say it's not a sad story. I mean, things happen. It's part of life, right? So I was out visiting my mom. She had a hip replacement, had a small type 2 little mini heart attack. So that kind of threw into the world, but she's doing great. she's up and back on her feet, and she's back home now. So it's amazing. So
yeah, prayers out to all that. Hopefully everything goes well. And I'm sorry that your vacation turned into that, because that's just not what anybody, as our parents get older, things like that happen. So hope everything goes well. And buddy, my heart goes to you, and sorry that it ended up that way, because I know you were looking to have a good time. So Easter isn't for a while yet, Steve. Well, that's the whole point, Richard. We got to
do it now.
We got to do all the tips.
Then it's already passed.
Yeah. Right. I mean, so we got to, Harry's going to give, I gave it away. It's Harry Soo tonight. He's going to give us some great tips. Let's bring Harry in, because Harry's all ready to go too, I think, for Easter.
Harry,
what happened to all your Easter stuff?
Hey, guys. Ryan, Steve, great to be on your show, guys. Hey, Ryan, props to you and your mom. Hopefully everything turns out good.
Thank you.
I'm here to cheer you guys up. So I heard you guys are doing an Easter podcast. So I figure me to crash it. And as Steve said, we got to get in the spirit. So take off the slap your daddy hat. Get my Easter duds on here.
Keep turning. There we go.
And,
there it is. Excellent.
Got to get the cool shades to go with it here. All right. Yeah. We're
ready to go.
Let's go.
That's just awesome. Johnny Joseph says, OMG.
All right. That's my new look there. I'm going to be cooking my demos and trade shows and classes now, doing dressed like this. So that's pretty cool.
It says, hey guys, nice lids. And then we got Griddles and Riddles with Nick and Jay says, what up?
What's everybody? Thanks for all stopping in here and giving a watch to the show. And Harry, thanks for coming on in. I'll beaming all the way in from sunny California. Well, I think it's sunny anyway. It was sunny here today. And we're going to do a little Easter talking today because, next to Thanksgiving food, you like a good Easter ham. And that's all I can tell you, because if it's done right, it's amazing. You can have ham sandwiches for weeks. You can make all different kinds of stuff. And Harry, you can help us with that. Making leftover stuff, because I'm sure you got tons of great ideas for leftover Easter food.
You can't go wrong with ham, right? I mean, it'll be in your refrigerator and be there for a couple of months, maybe.
Mine's never lasted a couple months. Dicing up and making omelets the next morning and sandwiches and everything.
Yeah, I think Trisha makes the split pea soup or something with the bone or some weird thing. I'm not a split pea soup person, so I had no excitement from thee there. But so anyway, it's all right, everybody. Feel free to answer any questions and stuff like this. We're going to roll right into this. Like I said, Easter is on its way. It's a couple weeks away. But this gives everybody a time and a chance and an opportunity to take Harry's great ideas and advice and put it to apply to your cook. And hopefully everybody has a great Easter cookout. So Harry, basically everybody always thinks of as ham for Easter. You got any other ideas for if somebody doesn't want to do ham? What would be Harry Soo's alternative to ham?
Well, I'm a brisket person, so I do a kind of a Easter brisket ham within quotes. So the key in life is to have fun, right? Obviously, to just do things that are unconventional. There's just so many things you can do at Easter besides the ham. I mean, don't get me wrong, ham is great, but I think there's plenty of other fun ideas.
Brisket, that does sound good. Maybe I'll have to try a.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lamb, even a lamb leg smoked. And the glaze that goes on a ham, like a maple bourbon glaze, it goes well also on the lamb. So whatever meat you have, it's all good to go.
I love lamb. Yeah, like Phil said, a leg of lamb. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, you do a little lamb lollipops, the one they sell in Costco.
Oh, I like that.
Or Sam's. Yeah. Those little Frenched lamb lollipops, they actually go well for Easter. And you can cook your ham and serve the ham, but the little other side dishes of lamb, maybe brisket, that always is a crowd pleaser.
I could see, that's a pretty good table right there. Lamb, ham, and brisket all on that centerpiece. That would be perfect. Right across the center of the table.
Yeah, and throw in a lot of barbecue sides. I think that the good old cornbread, right? That we serve for barbecue. That works really well with Easter ham. I kind of do it with honey butter, maybe some charred jalapenos to go with it. That the charring helps to remove some of the heat. So the jalapenos are nice and soft, not too spicy.
It's a little Polish sausage you like to do with it.
Yeah, that works too. If you want to use that,
a little sauerkraut on there or something like that. Mix that in.
Smoked sauerkraut. Yep, works really well.
Cafe Ranch says, "What's up, guys? How are we doing that?
What's up? Excellent, excellent. What would your flavor profile be on a brisket for Easter? I mean, is it normal? Are you just doing normal salt, pepper, garlic, or would you do something different?
I try not to overkill the brisket. I think that after paying so much money for the beef, right, you really kind of want to just serve it with the flavor of the beef versus trying to overproduce it. I'm sure you could put a glaze on it, something like I don't know, even something like a ginger and peach glaze that I use for my ham. That kind of works well. Bourbon, maple, honey. That also works well. Just kind of a sweet glaze. Maybe touch up the edge of the brisket before you slice it. That might work.
Does slap your daddy have you got a maple bourbon glaze in your lineup over there?
Not yet, but you could probably doctor up a barbecue sauce, blend with some bourbon and just get some bourbon onto your favorite barbecue sauce. A little bit of a sweet glaze, a little bit of heat, maybe a sprinkle of cayenne. That always works. And then
I love
some butter. Butter always works too. More butter.
I love cooking with bourbon.
Yeah.
Sometimes I actually put it in the dish, but I love cooking with bourbon.
When you got maple, you got bourbon, you got butter. That's a winning combination. The trifecta.
Just throw it right in the glass and let me slurp it down.
What's the secret to doing the brown sugar glaze without burning all the sugar up? I mean, you just got to keep an eye on it, or what?
I think keep an eye on it, yeah. Low heat. Don't overdo it. What's your Easter tradition in your families?
All right, that's what mine was. Well, I think I was kind of like around with Richard there. I mean, we did the Polish sausage, and we had the ham, and then just cake and stuff like that towards the end. And then, I'm trying to remember. Geez, Harry, you're trying to make me remember when I was a kid. I can't even remember. But yeah, I know we would have that. And you would have the sausage and the sauerkraut, and then you'd have like dumplings and more from the Polish side of heritage. So I get more of that type of stuff. But it was always good food. I just love times when you can eat lots of food.
Wow. What about you, Ryan?
No, I don't really. It's. I'm kind of right there with Steve right now, trying to think back of what we used to have, and it's more just. I just think about all the times just getting together with the family and everything. I never really focused on the food, but I always like the little lamb butter.
Oh yeah. Did you cut its head off right away? Yeah. Cut the head off of that thing. Yeah.
Wow. See, Johnny Joseph's with me. He's likes drinking bourbon.
Well, it's kind of like Harry always said, even back like when we were talking at most of the barbecue stuff when we have Harry on and the Thanksgiving, it's like, I guess you're right. I mean, food is almost just like the conduit of just being with the family. I think with Ryan, I mean, I remember the food. I remember a few things of the food, but it's just the warm time of being of everybody together, having a great meal, and the food was just kind of like the conduit or the binder to bring everybody together. And I think that was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. I just remember, having the kids going out and hiding the eggs. And I remember when I was little though, I know nobody's listening, but my mom used to put the $5 bills in some of the eggs, and I would go through them the night before and figure out what color they were. And yeah, I cheated.
You stole all the money, Ryan?
No, I just figured out what color they were of the ones that had the money in them. So those are the ones that I went for. If I'd seen one, I went running for that one.
I thought you stole the money on Easter.
No, I didn't steal the money, but Pete said, he said, speaking of his rubs, I've yet to see his rubs in Home Depot. Are your rubs in Home Depot?
I think they were part of a test that they did Home Depot as part of Jealous Devil. So you won't see my mugshot on it, but you'll see the Jealous Devil Love rub, which I kind of did a private label with Jealous Devil.
Go look for that one. Griddles and Nick and Jay said we've done wings and prime rib in the past.
Ooh. What flavor wings would you say would be an Easter flavor? I'm kind of thinking like a pineapple.
I'm thinking of maple bacon, bourbon.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. This is water, I promise.
Anything with maple and butter and honey and some kind of a bourbon, always a winner.
I'm thinking, like I said, I'd do almost like that pineapple, like a pineapple habanero type of wing for glaze or something like that for Easter. That would be kind of, I like that.
He said he brought up the deviled eggs are big in our family for every holiday. I love me some good deviled eggs. But the last time I made deviled eggs, I fired up the smoke fire. And it was graciously donated by one makers in Downers Grove, Illinois, and did smoked deviled eggs. So I actually scooped all the eggs out and had the egg whites in there and laid those on there and smoked them before I filled them up in. They were pretty good. They were pretty tasty. I enjoyed them.
You can go wrong with deviled eggs and, add some barbecue rub to it.
Mm-hmm.
Get some candied bacon bits in there and do a bacon wrapped deviled egg. That's always a winner.
Bacon wrapped.
Deviled egg. Well, anything wrapped in bacon. I mean, it's
That's
pretty much a lifesaver. Now, what is your recipe for candy? What do you use on your candied bacon? I'm kind of curious as to.
It's pretty easy. I mean, it's just 2 ingredients, just rub and brown sugar, 50-50. So just grab a tablespoon of your favorite rub, a tablespoon of brown sugar, and just use that ratio. Coat your bacon, and you can coat your pork belly. You can coat your salmon on a cedar plank and smoke it, and it's all good. And you cook it for as hot as long as you like. Some people like their pig candy kind of limpy. Some people like it kind of crispy. Some like it charred. So, just have fun. You see my videos, I post my Instagram. I do that for my class. There always is a crowd pleasing favorite. And the best part about the candied bacon or pig candy is that you do a charity or fundraiser. You can sell them for like $5 a strip at a church fundraiser, or you can bring it to a tailgate. You can bring it to a potluck. You can bring it camping. And it's amazing how many friends you'll make once people smell the
bacon.
Yeah, and then the hack I teach people is that there's no need to use pork belly. Just go buy the thick cut bacon from Walmart.
Yeah.
Really inexpensive and works, really well. And there's no food cleanup involved. You just put a half oil pan and shake some brown sugar in it, lay out the bacon, lay out your rub, lay out your cayenne, and just, set that pan aside and bring it onto site and just cook it till, it reaches the consistency you like. Super, super easy. Always a crowd pleaser. And always make sure you have some honey and some cayenne to dust before you serve.
I had some people doing candied bacon, but they were taking the red chili flakes.
Yeah, you can also
give it a nice little heat to it.
As much or as little heat as you like. It's all good.
Little. Back in the day, a couple years ago, maybe there's been a lot more. But
yeah, I think you find as part of aging like fine wine, your ability to eat spicy food tends to kind of go down over time.
Yeah, it fights back more. I can tell you that.
Yeah. When I compete, I always make it a point to go to the judging tent on Saturday morning, look at the composition of the judges. If I see a bunch of old farts like me, then I know I'm not going to make it spicy that day. If I see a lot of women in the judging tent, I will not tend to put too much smoke in the meat, because women in general don't like smoke. So it's all about being a top pitmaster. You got to kind of look at the judges and adjust accordingly. If I see a bunch of young guys with the goatees, I'm going to make it super spicy and super strong flavors.
I wonder if that would work at the next griddle battle. Maybe the guys should sneak in and see who the judges are, and then you can add as much.
Never thought about that. That's the one thing.
Add as much salt and as much spice as you want. Based on who you see.
I mean, sometimes there's not enough salt.
Yeah, I think
or enough spice.
Yeah, as the entries go on, we all professional competitors, like my competition brisket is not edible because that's the last entry in a normal KCBS contest. So the brisket is not edible because it's super salty. And if you don't make it super salty, the judges, the taste buds will not be able to sense any seasoning because they've gone through between 6 to 8 ounces of chicken, 6 to 8 ounces of ribs, 6 to 8 ounces of pork. So by the time they get to brisket, they've eaten about 36 ounces of or more, 40 ounces of meat. So they can't feel anything on their tongue anymore. And if you don't make it super salty, they can't taste it. And that's why I don't eat my competition food. I just cook it for the judges.
Yeah, most people
like Sean from Risky Brisket says the same thing. He's like his competition food is nothing like what he cooks at home.
Yeah,
because you're trying to get everything into that one small bite.
It's a 2-ounce bite, so it's a one bite wonder. And there's 24 strangers eating your food, so you gotta impress those strangers.
Yeah. What do we got on the old? Got any questions over there?
Mojo says, "Nice bunny ears."
Thank you.
Eric told me to cook with more bourbon. And Griddles and Vittles, I said, "Have a great night." I mean, we're just getting started. I don't know where you're going.
We just started, for crying out loud. I mean,
Keith says, "For Easter this year, we're doing a pork butt. I really appreciate Harry's video on how he's broken down each part of the pork butt. I've learned the majority of my barbecue knowledge from him."
Wow, thanks, Keith.
Awesome.
Always happy to help.
I've learned all mine from Steve. That's why I don't win any competition.
well,
Ouch.
Yeah, but you're eating good though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Competition's expensive. I mean, you just go and eat.
Yes.
And then, of course, Keith was picking on us because we were picking on him, and he says, "I hate you both."
I hate you both.
Yeah.
That's right. We love you too. Keith actually, because Keith filled in for me at the last clash down at Tischler's with Sean, so I do want to send a thank you for him and Phil for Smoking Griddle Boys for filling in for me while I was out taking care of my mom. So, what is Harry's channel?
YouTube channel. Just go to Harry Soo on YouTube or Slap Yo Daddy Barbecue on YouTube. And I have a couple of hundred videos out there. Well, actually 1,000 videos out there covering every topic you can possibly imagine and beyond.
Harry, it's always great when you say the name of your team, but when you're dressed like that and you do the Slap Yo Daddy, it just adds a whole new vibe to that.
Let me try again. Slap Your Daddy. Doing the Easter episode. So, when this podcast gets discovered by aliens years from now, they'll be watching this and saying, "What the hell are these humanoid Homo sapiens doing here? You can't get their hats together here." There you go. Now I'm the proper persona right now. I'm my Easter kind of energy aura.
So what else? How long is a ham usually? I mean, because they're usually pretty much pre-cooked already. I mean, how much does a ham usually it take?
I think most of the ham I cooked are pre-cooked. They come from I think usually in California we have a place called Honey Baked Ham. I think that they're pretty much nationwide. So you kind of stand in line, get your ham, and pay a atrocious amount of money. I think you can also get ham from the grocery store. I think Sam's and Costco's. I think all the ham so far I've tasted, I honestly can't tell much of a difference between them. They're all kind of pretty much well done. I know there's some kind of boutique farm hams out there, but I've not had the privilege of trying them out. But I think the normal ham needs to be warmed up, and you can serve it as is. It's pretty good. But if you want to kind of make your own jazzed up glaze, that's always a good thing. Kind of add a little bit of flair. One of the things we do is put those pineapple rings on it, put a maraschino cherry with the cocktail thing in the middle. That always kind of makes everybody happy. I think in my family, the ham is not really the kind of the favorite item on the table. It's more like a centerpiece because I have so much of it left behind. So it ends up on the leftover rack for the next rotation for the next 10 days, it seems like.
Is it what are the little black things? I want to say clove, but it's not clove.
It's a clove. You can stick the clove. And you kind of look at a little porcupine look. And God help me to find one of those cloves.
I was younger and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah. It's pretty nasty, yes.
Well, what's the if ham's not the main what's everybody eating when they come over to your house, Harry?
I think everybody comes for my brisket and my pork ribs.
Brisket.
Everybody for some reason every time people come to my home, for some kind of an event. Despite the turkey, Thanksgiving, or Christmas, everybody's looking for barbecue. It's almost
we'll figure.
kind of the thing that that happens when you're a pitmaster is the family always expects barbecue when they show up, and they don't just expect like barbecue. They want like the real like competition grade barbecue. So it's always somewhat a little bit of a stretch, kind of stressful time, because every time I make anything less, then they will say, hey, how come this is not as good as the one I thought I had before.
Yeah. I saw you doing. I saw you had. I saw either a reel or a snippet from your thing. You do a lot of little classes over there, because I see a lot of guys out there with their guys and gals, I should say, with their aprons on, and they're all doing cooking stuff.
Yeah, I started a barbecue school when I started in barbecue back in 2008. So it's kind of amazing that it's 17 years I've been doing these classes in my backyard, and it's been pretty much full for the past 17 years. I think last count I had 300 classes in my backyard. I've trained 5,000 people.
Wow.
A dozen at a time. Yeah, I mean, people somehow find their way on the internet, and they find their way to my class. And I've had students from all over America. Even some international students have come all the way. I had this lady came from Thailand, and she was the head of a hospital in Thailand. And I asked her, why are you here? She said, I was trying to learn how to cook American barbecue, and I went on the internet looking for a barbecue instructor, and she found me, and she decided that on a whim she'd jump on an airplane, come out to America, visit some of her friends, and stop by for a barbecue class. So I thought that was pretty cool. So many funny stories and wonderful stories about people who kind of found their own passion cooking American barbecue, and they made a stop to my place.
Yeah, they look like they're fun. I mean, I've watched some of the videos on them when they're pop up on my feed, and I'm like, that looks like it'd be a fun experience. Ryan, you might actually learn something. I mean, I could learn something.
Oh, Ryan, and see, you guys are always welcome. Just swing by, and if if the class is full, you can always be one of my helpers. And I invited a few of my alumni and also veterans who have PTSD. They come to my class as part of their therapy. So being able to reach out and reach some of the veteran community, help them out. I provide donated classes to them, and if they want, I also provide behind the scenes. They can come and help. A lot of people don't know that each and every single day in America, about 22 veterans kill themselves every day.
Yep.
Because of the mental illnesses that they have because of the war. So it's an invisible illness. So I want to kind of do a shout out for all those people out there who can help out. Please go help out. Go thank a veteran that for their service and sacrifice for our country.
Yeah, exactly. Then make sure you always check up on everybody too, because there's mental illness is a whole different ball game, and it's like Terry said, it's silent. Nobody wants to admit they have something or do something. So make sure you always, if you suspect something, just check up on that person and just kind of say hi, how you doing, and let them know that you care about them, because it's scary.
Yeah, if you're on a competition team out there watching this podcast, right? Put a feeder out on your social media. Invite a veteran to come out with you and cook. What's happening, I learned, is that when they come out and cook with you and you show them your schedule, it helps to put them back in their squad framework, because then they can reset their brain and their mind into the schedule of a contest. And then when they are in your team or helping you out, they are able to kind of decompress. And that belonging to a squad, belonging to a group, and belonging to a schedule, forcing them to do certain things at a time, it helps them kind of mentally cope with the challenges that they face. And that's what some of these veterans have told me when they come and help me, like behind the scenes in my class. It kind of helps them get back into that groove and alleviate some of the mental challenges that they have.
Yeah. That's, the same thing with Sean with Mission 100 Hours is the same thing when he was putting his competitions on. Every team that competed got partnered up with a veteran.
Yeah, I was privileged to be in Indianapolis to be one of the master judges. So I did some of the judging for the Mission 100 Hours. Then we had the final throwdown, and the Coast Guard and the Army, Marines, they did a big throwdown at the end. And I was just amazed at what they could do with the MRE. I think that the Coast Guard team made some crab cakes from the MRE. I thought, wow. This really blew me away.
Yeah.
So
that was the battle of the branches.
Yeah. So for those folks who want to see some amazing cooking and amazing veterans in action. Go to Cincinnati this year. I think it's later this year, towards the end of the year. Look in the internet and go visit the World Food Championship and watch the battle. It's gonna be pretty amazing.
You're still coming? Are you still coming to Chicago sometime?
I'm heading to Chicago for the Weber Masterclass. I think looking at my calendar here, I'm supposed to be in the Chicago Weber June 6th and 7th for the Weber Masterclass. I'm one of the Weber Masterclass instructors there, so we'll be doing some fun stuff. I think they have a whole posse of pitmasters from around the country headed out to Chicago. We'll be at the is it Palatine or Schaumburg, somewhere in that area? That Weber flagship
Palatine.
Palatine. And it's a fun event because you start on Friday, kind of after work, have cocktails, and then do a little bit of schmoozing, get into your little teams, and the instructors will kind of go over how to cook the overnight items. And we continue on a full day on Saturday. So it's going to be a lot of ground covered very, very quickly in great depth by some of the best experts in the country, covering barbecue, covering animal husbandry, primal and retail cuts. It's really a jam-packed routine. I think Dustin Green from Weber is the coordinator, so he puts on a great show. So, shout out to all the folks in your area who want to go to a barbecue masterclass. Go check out the one in Weber, June 6th and 7th. Let's mark the calendar. I'll be there too, so it's going to be fun too.
Guess what, Ryan? I'm off that weekend, so I think I'm going to have to text Dustin Green and say, "Hey, Harry invited me to this class."
Us.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always include you, Ryan, in everything I do.
I know. You do. I just try to can't make local things. I can definitely make. One of these days I'll make it down to the shed. I think they're doing Hogs for Cause right now, aren't they?
Hogs for a Cause is going on. I think either this week or going on this weekend or something like that. I keep forgetting. There's so many things I forget.
Jonathan, Cleveland with camping with the Cleveland. What's going on, brother? How are we doing? Good up remember.
Did you want to see Harry with his hat on?
Huh?
You want to see Harry with his hat on? Trisha's here. She wants to see.
Hey,
come on,
I don't want it.
Yeah, come on. Look at Harry.
She's gonna see it. This is a fun.
Look at Harry's get up. Yeah. Look at it. You went all out.
Better than yours.
I know it's better than mine. All I got.
Way better than mine. So.
Well, Ryan, you've been known to be a little party pooper every once in a while.
Wow.
Though you did surprise me with the turkey hat because I didn't expect you to get the turkey hat.
I know. I dropped the ball on this one, but it'll pick up for now.
That's all right. But you were on vacation and you had bigger problems to worry about than this. But I was going to ask Harry a question. Guess what, Ryan? I forgot again.
You got that CRS.
Well, Trisha came and distracted me, so I mean.
Now it's all Trisha's fault, is what you're saying.
Well, that's how it works. If it's not your fault, it's Trisha's fault. I mean, it's got to be somebody's fault, but not mine. But
I suppose.
Yeah, Harry, when you're up here, you're up. So are you just going to be here for the 6th and the 7th, or are you staying a little after, or not staying?
I should hang around in Chicago. There's lots to do and lots to see and lots to eat. I look at my calendar here. I'm available the week before, so I might head out to, go to Chicago and maybe play tourist for a week before I have to go to work at the master class.
God, yeah. Let me know because we'll do. We'll go out to dinner. We'll do
What's the barbecue scene like in your area? Are there many good barbecue restaurants to do a crawl with?
There's a few, but they're
so far away.
They're spaced apart. But I mean, it'd be a long crawl. But there's a few that we could
between locations.
45 minutes or so. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a triangle that we could go to that would be. I mean, you could do like Beach Avenue in Brookfield and Chicago Culinary Kitchen, and then down to Station 1, just do a big, huge circle or reverse it depending on where you're staying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, we could do a barbecue crawl.
Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, always cool to check out the barbecue scene in whatever city that I'm headed to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We definitely can do that. Yeah. We'll check. You said June. I'll have to reach out more when we get closer into May.
Yeah, I mean, the calendar I have is June 6th and 7th is the Weber class. So the week before, I don't have any classes. So that way will be great. If I can get there after Memorial Day, I'll be in Memphis for the Memphis in May, in middle of May. So when I get back from that one, I can head out to Chicago and maybe kind of cruise around for a week before before the June class. That might be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. All right.
Yeah, I've been trying to see America more. I work so much. Last year I did 55 gigs around the country and the world, and a lot of the gigs involve kind of going there, setting up, shopping, cooking, breaking down, and leaving. I thought this year what I'm going to try to do is not accept so many gigs, but just plan like spending a week before or after the gig to have fun. I just got back from South Carolina at the Hilton Head Island, did a class there for the city council people, and unfortunately I got there, did the gig, and came back, and it was beautiful out in the beach area. It would have been wonderful to kind of sit on the beach for a week after that, but now I know better. Don't try to don't work so hard. Yeah, I keep reminding myself I'm retired. I'm a retired government employee. I should just focus on every day being Saturday.
Yeah, right. Well, what did your class have to do down in Hilton Head? Did you do like a whole thing?
I started a new training company. When I was doing a class for the city of Bakersfield, they wanted a team building class using barbecue. Because what I did was my previous job in IT, I did 30 plus years in government service, building computer systems for hardware and software for a water company. So when I retired and started doing barbecue, some of my students wanted me to use barbecue as a way to do team building, high performance team building. And because of my background and certification in project management and management, I started doing those classes as a request. For example, I had a CEO of a Nickelodeon in my class, and he told me, "Harry, I like your class a lot. Can you do something similar, but focus on team building for my company, Nickelodeon, in Burbank?" So I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, my Panda people will not talk to my SpongeBob people because they're very smart, very intelligent, very talented, very creative people, but they don't get along. So could I come and do a course to kind of break up the ice among all these different tribes?" And I said, "Hey, no problem, because in barbecue we have all these tribes, right? We have the low and slow tribe, we have the hot and fast tribe, we have the fat up tribe, we have the fat down tribe, we have the UDS tribe, we have the offset tribe. So I'm used to tribal warfare." And he laughed, and I told him in the class that everything I teach in barbecue is a 3-hour argument and Jerry Springer fist fight. God bless Jerry Springer, he passed away, but you guys get my idea, right? Everything about fist fight. So long story short, I went out to Nickelodeon in a parking lot and created a barbecue competition, like a mock competition, and forced the folks from different teams to combine into a cooking team and made them battle each other. So they had to come together as a team, learn how to storm with each other, how to normalize with each other, and how to perform with each other on a team. And that became voted the best extracurricular course at Nickelodeon University, which I thought was pretty amazing. And then people started asking me to do those classes, and I started doing those classes. And more recently, I partnered with my buddy Nick, who's a TED speaker. So we've been doing classes for city government now. So I did it for the city of Texas. We went out to Cincinnati. We just came back from South Carolina. So it started as a kind of little hobby, but it seems to be gaining traction where we're using barbecue as a way to build high performance teams through a mock barbecue contest. So basically, you show up for the training seminar thinking you're going to go do a death by PowerPoint day, but then we force you into an outdoor setting. We put you into teams. I give a little course on how to cook, and then we say, here's a grill, here's a table, here's a tent, here's a knife, go at it. And you have to present your cook plan to a panel of judges. Then you have to cook, and then you have to present your food. And then Harry, of course, has to throw you curveballs. So the funny thing in South Carolina is I threw them 2 curveballs. I gave them a packet containing jalapenos, cream cheese, bacon, and smokies as one curveball challenge. And then the next curveball challenge, I gave them some shrimp, some potatoes, corn on the cob, and some andouille sausage. And they had to do a second curveball. So it's kind of interesting to see how much creativity was shown, as well as how much running around they did as part of their training course to just not only cook but present what they cooked. I noticed that the sun is kind of shining on my.
I hate to tell you, Harry, I was watching it and it was almost like some kind of like Alice in Wonderland acid trip because I was watching the sun
Yes.
come in
Yes.
with the white rabbit. Yeah. I
Cue
was
the music
like,
too.
wow.
Yes.
I was like, wow, this is like mesmerizing.
Yeah. The sun is starting setting on my window here, so I just had to turn my computer around here.
What did they do with that? What was some of the you got me curious now. What were some of the solutions with the sausage, shrimp, and
Potatoes.
basket side challenge that you gave them?
The reason for that is because in South Carolina, they are a big seafood region.
Yeah.
And folks out there like to do what they call a low country boil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Where you have base seasoning and you cook your shrimp and seafood in that base, seasoning salt, right? So what we do through with them is that the constraint was that they had no cooking utensils.
Oh.
So they had to figure out what to do. Because the idea of the course is to teach them how to become a strong team, how to develop things like the objectives, how to develop the roles and responsibilities, how to prepare a good plan, how to handle your resources, whether you have enough resources or lack of resources in terms of your equipment, in terms of ingredients. So they all have to put everything together very, very quickly into the plan. And after that, they have to execute the plan. And after that, when they present what they cook, it's a live judging, kind of like American Idol, where they face a panel and they get asked questions like, when you hit this constraint, what did you do? How did you overcome it? Did everybody in the team respond favorably? What are the lessons you learned? So it's really a very, very intensive course and obstacle course that they had to go through. So some of the teams did the low country boil because they took the aluminum foil and they made a little pot out of the aluminum foil. And they were able to cook the potato and cook the what do you call corn on the cob and the shrimp on it. Some didn't have that much imagination, so what they made a kebab skewer, and they made like a kebab out of the whole low country boil, but they seasoned it like the low country boil with the base seasoning, but they presented it as a grilled kebab item. And then they explained why they did so, and then the judges gave them points accordingly. So the mayor was there, some members of the city council were also there to see kind of the creativity. But these are all the directors of the city, like city managers, the HR head of police, HR, fire, and so on. So it was an opportunity actually to see all these different teams having to interact and work together, because previously they were not that coherent or cohesive as a team. But because of the kind of training that we provided, it was a way to kind of mesh them all together and force them to work together as a team. So that concept seems to be catching on, because I've trained Amazon, I've trained Google also using this concept. So there is hope for barbecue beyond just cooking competition barbecue, winning BATs, big ass trophies.
Big ass trophies.
Maybe we should take the course. See, so we can figure out how to work better together.
Well, I think that would ruin the show a little bit.
That might.
Yeah, you guys have a little bit of Laurel and Hardy kind of energy, right? So that's part of the specialty of your show here. So that's all good. You should do the Jerry Springer fist fight now and then, just to kind of spice things up.
I get my beads. Oh.
Greg, I got on Instagram was asking, are any of you going to the National Barbecue Festival on Long Island, middle of June? I know I'm not, but I don't know about you, Harry. Harry's probably the most.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm booked for events on the East Coast in Chicago. I think that Chicago is the only out of town event I have. So I have a class here, but June is available. Yeah, send me the info. Whoever sent the podcast, just send it to at Slap Your Daddy BBQ, and who knows, I might show up just to try the food.
Just to show up. That's what I usually show up for. I just show up to try the food.
Richard C said this, but I think that's what we were talking about last time. We were talking about when you were coming out here. Was said you got to do this.
Oh yeah, we got to do a pizza crawl. We get a pizza crawl, Harry, when you come out.
Is it deep dish or thin crust? What is it?
Well, we could do a little of. We had to do a little smattering of both. Because you have like 2 slices of deep dish, and you're pretty much shot for a while.
Well, you should. That's why you invite a bunch of people and you share one. Well, what's the
Yeah,
one next to the Weber restaurant that I go to? The one in Palatine. The Malnati. Is it Lou Malnati?
Probably a Lou Malnati's, I would
Malnati.
think, would be out there. That's a good
Yeah.
one for deep dish.
Yeah, they have that one with the sausage, that the whole patty in there, the whole
Yeah.
the whole thing is the sausage. Yeah, that's really good.
That's with
I
the
like
sauce on top too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the best.
It's good stuff.
Well, that's
I
kind of
think-
neat that you do those career building things. I think that's kind of a, yeah, we could do that, Ryan. You want to do that? We could do a whole class on that kind of. You and I could teach it. We're functional. So,
It's interesting to the idea of just using barbecue as a means of team building, because a normal barbecue contest puts you through all of the challenges that you typically go through when you go to work. You need to understand what you're there, what objective you're there for at work. You need to know what resources you have. You need to know who's doing what.
right.
You always have a financial constraint. You always have a material constraint. You have a time constraint. You have a labor constraint, right? You have to convince your superiors that you have a good process to execute to reach your objectives. You have a key success factors of what a successful objective means. You also have to manage risk. You have to manage quality. You have to manage integration of all your different people. You have to manage resources. So all of the aspects of management occur in a barbecue contest. So what I've been able to do is weave that into a fun 6-hour day to put people through that process of cooking a barbecue contest and pick up all these tangible skills that they can go back to work the next day and use. So I thought we've done a few classes around the country and to pilot the concept. And I think so far it's been working. We've been getting bookings across the country now. So as people talk about it more and more, they realize that that's a really creative way to do company training beyond the normal, what I call death by PowerPoint. We've all gone for company training, right? It's death by PowerPoint every single day.
Yeah.
But if you get to go out and do fun things and cook and eat, and a lot of people tell me, even like a year later, some of my students from last year in the class I taught, they said they learned some of the barbecue techniques. They went home and they know how to cook a steak now for their family. So I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah, Greg was saying on Instagram, this goes back to the National Barbecue Festival. He said, Harry, it's like the best of the best we had in Douglas, Georgia. So he's saying that's what that festival's like. So
Yep.
Well, send them the info, Greg. Send it to the slapyodaddy.com and send them all the info and stuff like that. And Harry will check his schedule and see if he can make it, because he's going to be full of pizza and everything by the middle of June.
That's right. Yeah, I'll be kind of waddling around in June, right?
When he gets back from all the Chicago barbecue and all the pizza, he'll be too full to go, and plane won't be able to take off.
Yeah,
He'll be
don't
so
forget hot
full.
dogs too, right? Chicago
Oh, and
dogs.
hot dogs. Oh yeah, I gotta love that.
Yeah.
Gotta get that Chicago style hot dog pizza.
Oh, Chicago hot dog pizza, really? But you have the green fluorescent pickle on your pizza?
Cut it all up, put it all on there, and go for it.
Okay, hey, why not, man?
Never know.
You're
Don't knock it till you try it, Steve.
Well, it would, we're going to change the gears in the subject here.
That's
Speaking of charities and stuff like that, Harry, you were part of the Operation Barbecue Relief deployment out there for the wildfires that happened out there in Los Angeles area. The team looks like they did pretty good out there.
OBR mobilized right away. For those of you watching this podcast, we had some really bad fires here in Los Angeles. It was one of those, we call it Santa Ana winds, where the winds blow up to 100 miles an hour. And what happens is whenever we have any kind of small fire caused by the wind pushing leaves against electrical wires, and you have a spark, and next thing you know, everything's on fire. And when you have 100-mile-per-hour wind, there's no way you can kind of put out the fire. So we had many people who lost their homes. I opened up my house and had a few families who had to evacuate, come stay with me. OBR deployed right away and set up a couple of stations. And the one I went to work was the one on Sunset Boulevard, right in Hollywood. And we cook a few thousand meals a day for the first responders. So we would mobilize, go there, kitchen, cook the food, pack it up, and have it delivered to all the first responders working the fires. So it was kind of a very intense situation. I had 4 personal friends who lost everything, lost their homes. Even the chimney was burnt, so nothing left. So it gives you an idea that, Mother Nature is really very, very powerful. I did the Mayfield, Kentucky as part of OBR, did one in Florida for the hurricane. So I have seen firsthand how powerful Mother Nature is. So, shout out to all those folks who volunteered, all those who helped, kudos to everyone for putting out great effort. So hopefully people realize that there is the OBR, Operation Barbecue Relief out there. If you, feel like you want to help, just go to the website, make a donation. And importantly, if there's a disaster, you can offer your time. I actually had a meathead. I had an engagement in Mississippi to do a joint presentation on AI and barbecue with Meathead. But I told Meathead, sorry, can you present my slides? I got to go work the fires because my hometown's on fire. So he was gracious enough for Meathead from Amazing Ribs to go out and kind of handle the PowerPoint on my behalf. I've been doing quite a lot of research now, talking about AI, which is my specialty. I will use to work in computers, talking about AI and barbecue, how AI will fundamentally change barbecue. So I'm going to try to put out some podcasts later, some videos about if you are working and involved in the barbecue industry, how can AI change everything and what can you do to leverage and take advantage of AI so that you too can benefit from a personal and business viewpoint on how to leverage this new technology coming your way, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Are you okay,
So a lot
Ryan?
of
Ryan, it looks like you're sleeping over there.
No, the jet lag is setting in on me. I'm sorry. I got
it's an exciting show when the co-host falls asleep. I mean, that's normally
falling asleep. I'm just here.
You look like you were sleeping.
He's resting his eyelids.
Leave me alone, he says.
No, I was doing my job here. I put the banners up there for the
I know I saw it. You looked very comfortable there.
I am very comfortable. Harry, I was out, and so when I went out, I was out in Arizona, and of course, at the 2-hour time difference. And,
yes.
Yeah, I got home at 12:30 this morning, and then had to wake up and go to work. And even my son, #handsome, his alarm was supposed to go off, or his alarm did go off at 5:45 this morning, which would have been 3:45 for us when we were in Arizona.
Yeah.
But he slept through his alarm from 5:45 to 6:35 when our alarm went off.
Oh, wow.
Make sure he was ready. So,
boy, you guys were tired. You didn't take the day off on your. Well, anyway.
Yeah,
well, Greg's just full of great ideas here on Instagram. He said, if you're coming to Chicago, not only do we got to do the barbecue from here, we got to do a pizza crawl, we got to do a hot dog crawl. But I think it could be one of my favorites out of all of the crawls would be an Italian beef crawl.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be really good, Ryan.
Just take them Portillo.
Oh, you got Al's. There's so many different.
I did finally make it to an Al's beef.
Did you like it?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
very good. I've transformed my Italian beef instead of just a traditional in the bun with the meat and a little bit of sweet peppers to the full on, a little juice on the side to now I'm a full on dip. It's got to be soaking wet.
Whoa.
Ooh.
What does he got? What little outfit does he got on though? He's got
a Raichu outfit. She's alternating between her Pikachu outfit and her Raichu outfit. Say hi. Oh, say hi to everybody. Say hi. Hi. Yeah, you guys know my brisket dog Beans passed away. After 15 years of being on my channel for so many years, he had a good life and passed away. So now I have Molly. So I'm going to try to. I edit the video. I have her. She's going to be my new brisket tasting dog. So she can make a debut on your show here. She's look at her. She my hand. I guess I see a bacon grease on my hand. I guess that's why.
Well, and she's practicing right away. I mean, it seems like she'll do okay with the brisket.
That's right. You gotta see if the rub is set in on that brisket when she licks it 20 times and it doesn't move. That's that. Leave it alone.
I mean, you never had a beef like wet. I mean, you never had it where they dunked the whole sandwich in.
I do now.
Oh, I knew you know. Now you've come to the mountain and see Moses. I mean that's you can't.
Yeah. You can't go back.
Dipped.
It's
dipped. Yeah.
Totally dipped. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way to go.
What else is that? Chickies, Al's, Johnny's.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of we could
do a beef.
I mean, we could hit a lot of beef places.
Might,
get
you might
half
have
of
to take a
these.
week vacation and do one every day. Oh.
You imagine? God, I did that barbecue for a week and that was bad. Can you imagine doing barbecue one day and hot dogs and then pizza and then
I'd have
and
to do a
then
hot dog the
beefs?
next day. You know, take a break, and
That's awful.
as long
I
as
mean, that
there's
would
no
be just
ketchup
like
on it.
no ketchup on the hot dogs, everybody. That's just not that's a rule.
You'll get thrown out of the restaurant in some of those places, unless you're 12 and under.
Unless you're 12 and under. So look at the cute little Molly.
Molly.
Look at her.
Molly.
Molly.
No.
She's still licking. I mean, she's getting into
Yeah, she's trying to find all the bacon left on my hand.
how old is she?
I think she's about 10, 11 years old. Yeah.
Oh my god, she's old too.
Yeah, she's old too. We're all getting there.
She looks pretty spry. She looks more spry than I do. Because
I
what
thought
that
she
would
had
be
like
11. That's 77. I mean, that's
I thought she had like a Chewbacca outfit on.
Oh
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah. See,
Nice.
and the
Oh,
tail
here it
too.
is.
Just what Steve needs.
You want me to get one of those outfits, right?
Yeah. Can you do that for the next show?
It's for Halloween. Well, we'll save that for around the Halloween episode. We'll
Halloween.
dress up. We'll wear costumes.
Yeah. You look at that, another debut on the show.
I know. The new brisket tasting dog for Slap Yo Daddy barbecue.
And her name
Harry
is Molly.
Soo. Her name's Molly.
Yeah, she's
There it
sweetheart.
is.
Like, where'd that hand go? Can you bring that hand back up here? Yeah.
Yeah, look at she's like, she's looking at the hat with the ears going, what in the heck? Dad's gone nuts.
What am I got myself into here? Well,
She's kind of small though. How much brisket can she? I mean, you're only giving her one slice or just a little
Yeah.
bit, right? She's
Right, one
tiny.
slice. She's about 15 pounds.
That's what you need, Ryan, when you go out. It's just one slice because both you and I eat way too much when we go out.
yes, we do every time. Actually, speaking of brisket, back out in Arizona, I was at the hospital, and they had brisket at the hospital, and I was like,
You had to taste it.
First, all right, let me back up. When I landed, my sister took me to a place called Fraser's Smokehouse in Phoenix or Scottsdale, Arizona. And they were pretty good. It was about $30 a pound for brisket. And it was pretty good. So the next day I get up and get to the hospital. I'm going through and I'm grabbing some lunch. And they've got brisket there. $6. And I got probably about 3/4 of a pound of brisket for $6.
Wow, was it good?
It was surprising. Not like, oh my God, I gotta rush back and have this brisket, but it was really good. And for $6, I would go back and get more.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
Can you read that question from correctional officer?
Correctional officer for lockdown. Good evening, everyone. Just checking in with a late question. Will the tariffs hit the sales for grills hard? I'm trying to have my understand. I still need my Kamado Big Joe.
Yeah, you must be trying to convince her. I do know that there will be, I can almost guarantee you there will be increases. Whether it'll affect the market hard. I mean, that's going to depend on what people can afford and what can pay. I do know that there's one company I know of already that May 1st is their plan to do a price increase.
Oh. Now it makes sense.
Oh, my wife.
It said, will the tariffs hit the sales grilled hard? I'm trying to have my wife understand I still need my Kamado Joe. So,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, so
in that fact, yes, they will hit hard. Have your wife watch the show, and yes, you should go get your Kamado Joe Big Joe right now.
yeah, no, they will be going up. It's just a matter of how much and when. Like I said, I know there's one major manufacturer that I know of. May 1st is their date that they're going to enact their price increases. I'm sure the others will follow at some point. What their extent is and when they'll do it is I have no idea. I haven't gotten word. I only know of one so far.
Yeah.
But Kamado Joe, I think is I don't know if they're from overseas or I know one of them's down in Georgia, but I don't know if that's Kamado Joe But yes, if you're trying to convince your wife, yes, the prices will go up probably sooner rather than later. So yes, now is the time for you to buy it.
And if you're looking, head over to Wanamaker's in beautiful Downersville, Illinois.
I don't have Kamado Joe, but I can order it in. I don't have it on the floor. I can order it in. I never really sold a lot of the ceramics, so we decided to give the floor space to something else. So.
Well, Harry, we've hit our hour mark here. Thank you again for coming on the show and blessing us with your presence. Always greatly appreciated.
You know, for a moment there, briefly, when he was scratching her head, Molly's eyes kind of looked like yours, Ryan, when you were sitting back in that chair.
Just get somebody to rub underneath my chin here like that.
And she was falling asleep. Yes.
Yeah.
So was Ryan. He just doesn't want to admit it. But
all right, say goodbye to Ryan and Steve here. Molly, look at the camera here. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Hey.
Bye.
It's my dinner. She actually jumped my lap because it's dinner time for her over here.
Oh, geez, no wonder why. Yeah,
I'm hungry. So feed me. What are you talking to these guys for? You know, I'm more important here. Feed me.
100%. I agree with you, Molly. You are more important.
All right, Harry. Thanks for coming on. Hopefully, we'll see you in June, and then and maybe before that. Who knows? Maybe you'll sneak out. Actually, you said you're going to come up and maybe after Memorial Day, but whatever.
Well, I'll see you in Dakota and Marietta, Ohio in a couple of weeks. So who knows? I might swing by. You never know.
If you get a layover in Chicago or something at O'Hare or whatever, just let me know.
Get a snowstorm, right? And then get stuck.
You never know.
Yeah, I hope not in June, but you never know.
Yeah.
All right, Harry.
Hey guys, thanks so much. Catch you next time.
Have a good night.
Come on. Bye. Say bye, Molly. Say bye.
Bye. All right,
Ryan. Another good show. We'll go right away since you're so tired. I mean, I didn't know.
No, I am. I'm extremely tired, and I apologize for anybody watching the show. It's been a long day, so the long.
I apologize for you for the show. Like when I see people on the street, just in normal. But now I'm gonna have to explain why you were falling asleep on the show. I mean, how am I supposed to sell it? Is this exciting?
I'm yawning a lot. I tried to hold my yawns in pretty good.
I don't know. I mean, you kind of look like you were sitting in your chair, like.
No, my eyes were awake my eyes were open the whole time.
Oh,
I was just trying to hold still and hold in my yawn. It was
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Boy, that would be some great food crawls with hair. I hate to tell you, I think the best of them all would be the Italian beef crawl.
We'd have to get like one Italian beef and share it, and then go to the next one and get one Italian beef and share it.
Yeah, I mean, or a couple. I mean, you'd have to eat only like halves or something, or get like a big one and cut it into little pieces for everybody to try it.
Yeah.
Don't you get it with like? Do you get it with like the jardiniere and everything on it? I mean, jardiniere dip. Jardiniere.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Jaredar is what is
Jardiniere. I mean, either way. I mean, do you get it on there?
Yes. You got to have a jardiniere.
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 In Chicago, we say jar.
Jardiniere.
I mean, I got a jar over it. Somebody brought in a jar to the store for me to try.
Of jardiniere?
Yeah.
A jar of jardiniere?
Yeah, jar of jardiniere. That's
a jar of jardiniere. I mean, yeah. Let me get stuff. Do you guys see all those boxes of Melinda's back there? Can't wait to try. See what's in those boxes. We'll leave that for next week's episode.
Huh? Do you want to see what's in the boxes?
No, we're gonna save that for next week.
Well, no, not next week. We'll do it. I bet we can do it really quick. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it because it's all the glare. Yeah, see, there it is.
Well,
jardiniere, not jardiniere or whatever. Yeah, this is Chicago style mild jardiniere.
You realize we just said jardiniere on the show for probably 2 minutes straight. I just want to point that out.
Well,
no, we're gonna save those. Not now, Steve. We're gonna save those.
No, because next week's guest is well, maybe we will save it for next week. Next week's guest, hopefully, if everything works out, this will be a great show. So if you're looking for a great show to watch, I'd hope everybody would watch it. and have lots of questions to ask, because next week scheduled to be on is Drew Davis from Cripple Hot Sauce. What an incredible, amazing story. Drew has cerebral palsy, but that did not stop him from starting his own company and his own hot sauce company. And he does give 5% of his profits to, I hope I said that correctly, but he does give them to the Cerebral Palsy Association, or, whatever, for research and stuff like that. So that is going to be a great show, especially for someone like myself who has Tommy, who is also handicapped. And it's great to see people expand past the fact that everybody just, they see people in the wheelchairs and stuff like that. And they, there's so much that they can do. And I hope that inspires other, people in wheelchairs and stuff like that, that just because you're in the chair doesn't mean that you can't do anything. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything. So, so great show. Hopefully next week, everything seems to be going okay so far. We've coordinated and everything seems to be on track. I don't know how long of an interview he can do. So keep that in mind. So make sure, if you're going to watch, make sure you watch it at the beginning of the show. So that's why we may have time to do the Melinda's Hot Sauce stuff. I have to get onto his site because I want to try and get some stuff in for us to taste before, so we can taste it on the show.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you should order something.
Oh, I should. Sure.
Yeah.
We'll have to get on the site and take a look at it.
So anyway.
Yeah.
So great show next week. I hope everybody will watch and tune in and ask questions, because I think it'll be. I've watched some of his videos and stuff on there. He's actually, I think he's almost a little more quick-witted than I am, Ryan. He's got some pretty snappy one-liners. So.
Right, well, you're pretty not so quick-witted, but it's all right.
Yeah. Anyway, well,
yeah, good stuff.
All right, everybody.
Everybody.
So make sure you tune in next week. Everybody, thanks Harry Soo for coming on the show again, as always, being our expert for the holidays. I love Easter coming up, as we got the bunny ears and everything. I love Easter coming up. I hope everybody. We turn them off. We'll turn them off and flash it. I hope everybody has a great Easter coming up, and make sure you get your menus planned, get your food, get all your stuff ready to go. It's almost like a Thanksgiving type of prep. You get ready to go, even though you don't have to do a lot with the ham. You just throw it in somewhere and warm it up. You guess you could smoke it a little bit, but it's already pretty much pre-cooked and everything. I don't know how much. I don't know how much it'll smoke. I don't know how much it'll smoke, but
you never know. Never know. All right, guys.
There's some great stuff in those boxes over there, man. I know there's one box there that you're gonna die for. You want to see it, don't you? I could get it right now. It's 2 seconds away.
No.
All right.
We're gonna save it. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Everybody.
We'll see you next week, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central. Have a good night.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, guys. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.